Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. If you are new to my channel, my name is Sherry. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be infusing the Mexican taco into some pasta shells. So we as a family has discussed this and we think this is going to be an awesome dinner. So in this pan right here, I have some shells boiling with some very salty water. Now we're going to be going ahead and adding, I have 2 pounds of ground beef here. Now I don't know if I'm going to be able to use all of this in the shells, but I'm cooking it all. Worst comes to worst, somebody can have a little bit of extra on the side. Now while these come up to an al dente, you want to make sure you don't cook them all the way through because we're going to be cooking them also too in the oven. And then once this hamburger reaches temp, we'll be back and I'll show you the rest of the seasonings. Alright, so the pasta is all done. And what I'm going to do is just grab out a cup of some pasta water, just in case the sauce over here becomes a little too thick. You always want to reserve that. So we will dump all of this in here very carefully. You certainly do not want a steam bath. And then after all of this is out, just try to get as much water as you can. And you're going to dump it all on this because you want to go ahead and allow all of this to cool here before you go ahead and start. And then you don't want a big clump of pasta as you're trying to fill up the shells. So let's come back over here and I'll show you the rest of this recipe. All right, so if you see here, we've got just a little bit of grease left in here. You want to make sure that you don't have any grease. You want to make sure you get all that. So as a quick little pro tip, if you take some paper towel and make a little bit of room, you see how there's not a lot of grease, but there is still some. When I tip my pan back, you'll see it all coming in. You want to go ahead and you can get that up with just a paper towel. That way you don't have to empty out your frying pan, and that paper towel will soak up and absorb all of that excess grease. Just be careful though, because this paper towel is going to be extremely hot because it's got all that grease in there. Then you can just give it another quick flip around. And you want to try to grab as much of that as you can, because you want your product in your final dish to be delicious. So I'm just going to take this out. I'm just going to set this in the sink. All right. Now you're not going to get it all out, but at least that's good for now. So we're going to go ahead, and I've got some homemade taco seasoning. You're going to add about a package of taco seasoning in here. And let me get that rubber spatula back. You want to mix that all in here. Very good. All right. And then I'm going to open up a can of Rotella. Now, normally you would go ahead and use some salsa. But because, again, this is a pantry challenge, I don't actually have a lot of salsa right now in my house. So Rotella is just as good. It's also got some green chilies in here. You're just going to add 1 can. And again, you want to mix this up. And then as this is still cooking away, you are going to add 4 ounces of some softened cream cheese. Now your best results is to go ahead and just cut this up a little bit and kind of spread this out. That way it easily cooks faster. There we go. And then once this all cooks down, I'll bring you back for the rest. Okay, so the sauce is all done. This actually smells really, really good right now. And I might have, even though this is dinner, I might have some for lunch. So what you're gonna wanna do is add about a half a can of red enchilada sauce. Now, if you like hot spicy, do hot spicy. We are a mild family. You wanna make sure this does coat the bottom. That will prevent this from sticking. You're just gonna go ahead and grab a good chunk of the burger. And I did have to add just a little bit of pasta water to this just to give that extra little, not watery, but extra little juicy. I did end up adding the full block of cheese when we entered and edited for a second or two and shut the video off. When I went to go do that, I didn't realize that there was about 2 pounds of ground beef in here. So it did need that extra little bit. Now, we used to have lasagna a lot as a family, and I think I lasagnaed all of us out. So we've been doing like a lot of tacos or a lot of pasta. And when we found this, everybody was all on board at giving this a try. Now this part here is a little time consuming. So you want to make sure that you have enough time to take care of this. You can definitely go ahead and make this all in advance and stick this in the in a refrigerator or even the freezer, and then just take it out, you know, overnight to thaw in the refrigerator and then bake it up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill all of these all up. And when we're done filling this up, I'll take you back for the rest of the recipe. All right, we're down to our last little bit. I'm just trying to squeeze in here the remaining pieces. I made a little extra noodles, which is not a big deal. And then after you fill this all up, and I'm just trying to find some little empty holes. It's gonna be nice and saucy. I can probably do. All right, so we got just a little extra noodles over there, which is not a big deal. We'll go ahead and do something with those. I'm not gonna throw those away or anything like that. All right, so I'm gonna take off my gloves. I just find that gloves sometimes are a little bit easier to work with. All right, so now we're gonna take the rest of our red enchilada sauce. We just wanna go ahead and give it all over. Make sure all the noodles and everything get it. Don't mind the cats. They're having a blast right now, bouncing all around back and forth. I right now just have some Colby and Monterey Jack. You use whatever you have. If you have Mexican blend, use Mexican blend. I'm just gonna grab a couple of good handfuls. And then we're gonna go ahead and put aluminum foil over this. We're gonna bake it in the oven for about 15-20 minutes. Then you're gonna take the aluminum foil off and bake it again for a little bit longer. Let me go ahead and grab my aluminum foil. Okay, and we're just gonna wrap this all up. And then we're gonna come around the corner. We're gonna stick this in the oven And I am going to stick it on a sheet pan just to help when it comes out so I don't have any falling over. All right, and we'll see you back in just a few. All righty, we are just beeping right now. We are going to go ahead and take this out. And I'm going to turn it off. And let's see how, oh yeah, look at that. That is gorgeous. Okay. Now let me go ahead. I'm going to take a little right now. Oh, I don't even know if I want to mess this all up. This looks too pretty. Here, I put this right here. Just trying to make sure I get in and under. Oh, look at all that cheese. That is gorgeous. What a nice cheese pull. All right, I'm gonna go and get a little bit of sour cream because I do want to top it with some sour cream. Now I'm just gonna move a couple things out of my way. Mix this up just a second. You know how sometimes it does have that little water in there. All right, we're gonna do a nice little scoop right there. Wow, this is gonna be amazing. I am gonna do one bite without it though. Oh, look at that cheese bowl. All right. Oh, wow. That is super delicious. I'm going to add a little bit of sour cream to this bite. Huh. We like cheese. That is super, super creamy, especially with that in there. I'm glad that I added that full block of cheese in there, you know, the cream cheese, because again, I did use 2 pounds of hamburger meat. Now, if you want to use like ground turkey or ground chicken for a little bit healthier, you sure can. If you want to even do like half beef and half ground sausage, you can certainly do that as well. Well, I'm going to sit down and enjoy my lunch, and the rest of these guys are going to have this for dinner. I have to go do some errands. I just want to say thank you so much for coming into my home today. If you like this video, go ahead and please like, share, but most importantly, go ahead and subscribe. Click that notification bell to get all of my new and updated videos, and I'll post some videos either here or here for you until my next upload. I just want to say thank you so much again. Keep on cooking. Bye.